Hey now, welcome to my new series, Mode 7 Legends. Mode 7 is of course the iconic graphics mode from the Super NES. Oh god, I said Super NES. From the SNES, just quicker, it's quicker. Quicker to say that. At least I didn't say Super NES, because honestly you'll be here all day. What is Mode 7? Well, I'll tell you. Mode 7 is a graphics mode on the Super NES, oh my god, video game console that allows a background layer to be rotated and scaled on a scanline by scanline basis to create many different effects. The real point is, it looks really cool. I think it looks cool now. It is limited, of course. We are many years down the line now, but absolutely huge love for the Mode 7 games, and we're going to explore them in this series. And what are we going to start with? Well, I'll tell you. We're going to start with the first Mode 7 game ever released, and it is of course from November 1990, the absolutely legendary F-Zero, a game that is basically the perfect racing game. Its only flaw, and it is a huge flaw, is its single player. So that takes away one element. Apart from that, it's a fantastic game. It's a tricky one to get used to at the start, but once you do, there's nothing else quite like it still for me. It might be my favourite racing game. This game, 1990, I'm thinking I probably saw it 1991 at my cousin's house. Yeah, that again. He definitely got on to this really early. The first game he had for the SNES was Super Mario World, but F-Zero quickly followed. It was an incredible experience to see that Mode 7 in action for the first time. A real feeling of depth and 3D. The way the screen rotated, it wasn't just like a car sprite fixed to the bottom of the screen and you can go bend left, bend right or straight on like Outrun. This was true rotation. Absolutely jaw-dropping to see. Looking back to those days and thinking, how would I show off my SNES to someone who hadn't seen it? I think F-Zero would be a really, really strong candidate. You put the demo of F-Zero on and it's a head-turner, without doubt. It's mind-blowing. And the best part about F-Zero is it looks great, but it also plays brilliantly. It's a joy to play. The second game in this list, this is a chronological list, December 1990, Pilotwings. Again, my cousin had this one. Now, Pilotwings is one of my absolute favourite games of all time on any system. But I think it is quite niche. It's kind of like a flight sim slash flight training game. Apparently, in the Japanese version, there's much more of an explanation that you are actually training for a secret mission, which does in fact occur, where you do the helicopter combat mission, which is very stressful and very cool. But even without a plot, it's just a brilliant game. It's just one of those games where you can iteratively improve your score and get really good at it if you put the time in. I have so much nostalgia for this game, except I don't have nostalgia because I don't think I've stopped playing Pilotwings yet, and we are over 30 years down the line. Looking back to 1990, I would say, again, if you wanted to show off the SNES, putting a Pilotwings demo on would certainly make someone stop and take notice, especially something like the parachute sections, where you go all the way up and then slowly descend to Earth and see that landing area slowly come into focus. It's really impressive stuff. Brilliant use of Mode 7. Which, again, in answer to that other question, does it play well though? It may look good, but does it play well? Yes, it plays brilliantly. What a great game. The third Mode 7 legend. It's so tacky. August 1991, Hyperzone. Hyperzone basically looks like F-Zero, but mirrored, so you've got the top of the screen looking like the bottom. I played it for a bit. I never played it back in the day, but I've dabbled in it before, and I dabbled in it again for this series. It's a shoot 'em up, and it's quite good, but it really is kind of just F-Zero but shooting things, and with way less interesting tracks, I would say. I played it for a sufficient amount of time that I did start to get into it, and I suppose I'd say actually it's quite challenging and possibly too rich for my blood in terms of my limited video game skills, is what I'm trying not to say there. So Hyperzone is definitely a curiosity worth checking out. I would say it's kind of ugly though. Yes, it uses mode 7, but this is not one I'd put on demo mode and show off. I think it's just not quite there. So does it play as well as it looks? Well, no it doesn't, because I'd say actually it plays quite well and it looks kind of ugly, so it actually plays better than it looks. But overall, I know it's called Mode 7 Legends, but this one is kind of a clunker for me, just my opinion. So far I've mentioned games that have been all Mode 7, apart from menus, which obviously is fine. This one though only uses Mode 7 in a couple of places. Super Castlevania 4, again, Castlevania's popped up. One of the great series, and always doing something interesting with music or level creativity. I still think the Super Nintendo Castlevania is just a jaw-dropping achievement, and some of these areas with rotating rooms with the chandeliers swinging, just astonishing. This was October 1991. I don't have memories of this as a kid. I didn't play it until a bit later, so it's not a nostalgia game, strangely enough, but it's become a huge, huge favourite. I would absolutely leave this in demo mode and just say, look at it! Because it's jaw-dropping, especially these Mode 7 scenes. It's absolutely staggering. And does it play as well as it looks? Oh, yeah, it does. It's a masterpiece. Masterpiece of graphics, level design, and music, of course. The next game on this list from December 1991 is Super Soccer, or Super Formation Soccer. This game was one of my cousin's first Super Nintendo games. I will be frank, I am still obsessed with this game. It starts off way too easy, but once you get past that, it's a cracking arcade football game. It's a real challenge. The two-player mode is just sensational. Like, what more could you ask? You don't have to be brilliant to be competitive in it, because it's got shoulder charging and acrobatic volleys, and it's a full-on arcade experience. It's a joy. One of the best aspects of Super Soccer is that after you beat every team in the world, the referee comes out and says, "Stop, you must beat my team before you can be the true champion." And then you have to play against a team of referees who are weirdly the best team in the game, which I'm pretty sure is not true of referees. I have a great memory of getting the cheat code off a magazine for this and being able to unlock that referee team, and I'd play against my cousin. He'd be Germany or Argentina, I'd be Nintendo, which is what they were called. They were all black, and it was just awesome. Hours, just dozens of hours of fun. I'm still playing it. Fantastic game. As a tech demo, would I show it off? Yeah, probably. It's not the most beautiful Mode 7 game, but it's really good, and I can remember being blown away myself at the time. It's definitely got something about it. It plays brilliantly. The controls are so tight. I think this is an underappreciated game. It is such a quality football game. If you like just having fun, especially in two-player mode, it's a joy. I would put it up with Sensible Soccer. So, yeah, sue me. The next game to come out was in February 1992. And again, this is an absolutely brilliant game. This is F1 ROC Race of Champions, or possibly you know it as Exhaust Heat. It's an F1 game. It is my favourite F1 game ever. I love the purity of this game. It's pure racing. There's nitro bobbins in there and stuff. Like, you can enhance your car, and you have to, otherwise it would be a bit bleh. But there's a nice bit of strategy to it. You've got to pay attention to the weather forecast and prepare the car correctly for the upcoming races. You've got to qualify. The Mode 7 looks beautiful. This game is an absolutely wonderful racing game. I like how the cars kind of look like the real teams, like it looks like Williams' car, which was my favourite back in the day. And all round, I can't emphasise enough how much fun it is. You know what? This is poor preparation on my part. I don't know if there's a 2-player mode. I'm going to guess no. Which again is a big disappointment in a racing game. But as a person who prefers solo play, as many people in my community have said about me, I can only say this is a masterpiece. This was my first game I ever rented. I never remember any of that, like, little detail stuff. But I remember renting this. It's my first SNES game I rented. The first game I ever rented was Ghostbusters on the Master System, and thank God I rented that because... Ugh. Would I show it off as a demo? Yeah, it's pretty good. It sounds good and it looks good. Not all of these, as I have said before, are worth demonstrating to curious outsiders who's clutching their Mega Drives with a frightened look in their eyes and confusion at this glorious machine, questioning their Altered Beast purchase. I'm only joking, I love Altered Beast. Exhaust Heat plays as well as it looks. It is a fantastic game. Go play it. The next game to come out, June 1992, NCAA Basketball / World League Basketball. I didn't play this back in the day. I seem to remember wanting it though, and although I played a lot of basketball, which not a lot of people know that about me, I used to play basketball quite a lot until this crippling shortness ruined my career. I was really curious about this game. I mean, ultimately though, NBA Jam is just way, way better. However, having played this in preparation for this video, I did actually really quite enjoy it. I found it slightly frustrating, but it is so ambitious in how it looks, and it plays okay. In the old days, I could be a bit snobby about games that look graphically amazing, and I would often be sceptical about if they even played well at all. But this game plays pretty well. I think if I was a proper basketball fan, maybe someone would be like, no, this is junk. But to me, I had fun for a bit. Will I go back to it? Probably not. But it's a very impressive technical achievement. It is absolutely the sort of thing I would wow someone with. Put this on in a video game shop in the early 90s, and people are going to be staring at it and going, oof, this NES can do some serious shit. So does it play as well as it looks? No, it doesn't play as well as it looks because it's not quite right. It's a bit clunky. But it's good enough to be played now through some means or other. What I'm saying is, it's worth playing now because you don't have to pay 40 quid to play it. Finally, in this episode, from July 1992, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IV? What? 4? Turtles in Time, also known as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No, it isn't. Also known as Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, because we are terrified of the idea of ninjas in Europe. This game is not a full Mode 7 game, as people who know this game way better than me can tell you. I played this a bit, not back in the day, but I played it a bit. I didn't play this as a young boy, but I have absolutely played it now. It is a side-scrolling beat-em-up, and it's good, it's colourful, spectacular looking, can't argue with that. The game does, however, have that one Mode 7 level, the Neon Knight Riders level. It looks pretty great. I think there could be a bit more variety to the movement of it. It looks a bit like someone's put a turtle sprite in F-Zero, but it's not quite as exciting to play as F-Zero, and it's a shooting thing. It's a bit like Hyperzone, but a bit better, but not great. A game that is truly beloved, and I can understand why. I'm not sure this level is the reason why. It looks good, it doesn't look great, but if I wanted to show something off, I could pop this on and go, check out this level. Look, it's Ninja Turtles in 3D in a video game you can play at home. 1992, that's really quite something. I don't think, however, it played as well as it looks. Super Mario Kart. the boss of something, kart racing games in Mode 7. It's one of the best games ever made. One of my favourite games of all time. I think F-Zero is better, but only single player, because Mario Kart has multiplayer, and damn, the multiplayer racing, the battle mode, it's just freaking joy to play this game. It came out in August 1992. This was my cousin's, but I'm pretty sure I ended up getting this because I soon realised I had to have this game. I definitely have owned it since. It's just basically pure gaming joy. I loved it back in the day. It's challenging, sometimes infuriating, but anyone can beat it with a bit of patience. I got it again a few years ago when I was living with my friend in his flat, and the poor guy would come home from work exhausted, and I mean, I was working too, just to be clear. He'd come home from work exhausted, and we would just be inevitably playing Mario Kart. We had a real problem. We just couldn't stop playing it. We were doing glitches and everything. Just got really quite hardcore. It's a great game. It's so deep. I don't even know. What can you say about Super Mario Kart? Nothing. Would I leave this demo running? Yeah, if you were putting this on a screen in 1992, people would be like, wow, this is just a cartoon world. It's beautiful. And it is beautiful. It still looks great now. I'm a sucker for this sort of thing. Does it play as well as it looks, though? Yeah, of course it does, yeah. Mario Kart is perfect. It plays as well as it looks. I would show it off. It has huge nostalgia for me. It is possibly my favourite game. It's top 3. There's not much else to say. But, following on from Mario Kart, my real number 1, July 1993, Yoshi's Safari. I'm kidding. It's pretty bad, isn't it? I didn't have Yoshi's Safari, but I really wanted it. When I got a SNES, I got the Super Scope SNES. Which was a terrible choice, because the Scope games aren't the best. Let's be frank. They're novelties at best. The Scope was an interesting twist on the light gun concept, but there wasn't enough of a game library to make it worthwhile, and I really wanted Yoshi's Safari. But I've played Yoshi's Safari since, and I played it again in prep for this, and as you can see from the footage, and I have no regrets about not having it as a kid, because it's not good. It's so limited, it's so frustrating. I feel like it's actually poorly conceived. I don't know what's going on, and maybe I'm just useless. But I'm not sure it's even that. I'm not saying this game is bad because I can't play it very well. I'm saying it's bad because I have a funny feeling this game is bad. Would I use it as a demonstration of the SNES? Yeah, I would have. I mean, it blew me away. I would definitely put this on and say, this is the future. But, on the flip side of that, does it play as well as it looks? Not even close. It is not good enough. It is a poor game. So we move on. 2 days later, another game came out, Super Airdiver, which you may know as Lock On. A flight sim? I don't think a flight sim is right. It's a flight combat game. I'd never heard of it, but during my Mode 7 research, I discovered it. And there's a fair few flight combat games out there. This one won that sort of mini semi-final to get onto this list. It is, for me, the best option. In terms of immediate appeal, Super Airdiver just was the obvious choice. I played it a bit, as you can see. It's quite limited, really, because it's just really a flat sprite stretched out and you're flying around and shooting stuff. It certainly wasn't boring to play, certainly not for the amount of time I played it. It's just a bit of fun. I found it quite tricky, but I'm new to it. It's a good 10-minute blast. I would say, again, as a demonstration of what Mode 7 can do, it looks very, attractive indeed, and you absolutely would put this in the category of yo, as I say yo, obviously. Yo, dude, come and look at this crazy flight sim combat game. Does it play as well as it looks? Well, it's bloody fast, I'll give it that. I'd say it plays very well. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's pretty good. Finally, in this episode, NHL Stanley Cup, or Super Hockey as it is known in Europe. This game came out in November 1993. I see this game as basically Super Soccer but with hockey men. I didn't play this as a child, but actually I did quite like hockey games in those days. But by 93 I think I'd gone to PC, to be honest. So I didn't own this. Even my cousin didn't own this. However, for research purposes I have played this game and I had a really good time. My only problem was I couldn't score. No matter how hard I tried, it just would not happen. And I really tried, but there's a game in there. This is a way to get some limey trash like me to really enjoy ice hockey. It's good. I would highly recommend this if you like retro hockey games and you somehow aren't aware of it. Like I'm in a position where I should be telling you that. I'm not sure that's really necessary. It looks great as well. I would show this off. It's a really striking looking game. There's a real richness to the players, sprites, the colours, and that. Some of the hockey games that could have been on this list, even ones that came out later, I can't remember all of them, but Brett Hull didn't look as good as this, which is why I didn't include it. I think it looks really nice, and it plays well. I don't know if it plays as well as it looks, but it's good enough. I think it's a fun game. I certainly was dragged into it. Accelebrid? Accelebrid. I don't know what that means. A shooting game from November 1993 where you move along a tunnel above a city and you can turn into a plane, or you can stay as a little man, and you shoot lots of things, and there's a few sort of options at the start in terms of weapons, and you can even choose, it seems like a posture? I can't quite tell what's going on. Obviously I've never heard of it before, so no nostalgia for me. And I have to say, I didn't think it looked very nice either. I thought it was pretty ugly. And I have to say, I didn't like it. So really achieving legendary status here. Look, someone might really like this game, and I'm just giving my opinion. I didn't think it looked good, and I don't think it played well. I picked it out because I felt like there was nothing else quite like it that I'd seen, except maybe Hyperzone. But even Hyperzone I'd say was better, which I know is not what anyone wants to hear about their game. So that's Accelebrid. Shall we move on? Next on the list is another game that I was very happy to discover from December 93, Ace Sonore, or Aim for the Ace. It's a tennis game. I hadn't heard of the series Aim for the Ace. I'm not really au fait with some of these things. I would say that I was very pleasantly surprised from the footage I'd seen of this Mode 7 tennis game. I thought that looks like it could only be a blast to play. So I loaded it up and I tried playing it, as you can see from the footage on screen. And it is very nice to play. It moves beautifully, but as is clearly evident, I could not win a single point. It took a fair while to even hit the ball. And I don't think I'm that bad. I just found it a real dog of a game to try and play. I'm sure practice makes perfect, and I probably needed to get my translator out to read some of the menus, because I just was pressing anything to get to a game of tennis. But you can see there's something in it, and it looks fantastic. For SNES, I can't believe how good looking it is. And I know a lot about ridiculously good looking things. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I've never heard of it. There's no nostalgia. I would definitely show this off a bit like the NCAA Basketball and say, look at this. This is impressive stuff, right? In answer to my little bullet point that I've put here, does it play as well as it looks? Well, it looks fantastic, but I really struggled with the gameplay. I couldn't get almost anything to really happen with it. I mean, I got to a point where I'm actually hitting the ball, which is some sort of progress, but really, it's not great. The next game was really interesting. This is from 3 days later, Christmas Day 1993. Zoku, the Legend of Bishin. I had never heard of this. And so, immediately, nostalgia? No, there's no nostalgia. This game is a mixture of, for me, and don't punch me, a mixture of F-Zero and Streets of Rage. And it's just a nice idea. There's some driving scenes where you're in a proper Mode 7 landscape trying to move across the map. Not massively interesting though, it's against the clock, but there's nothing else on the road. And then after that initial section, you drive again. This is my experience of the game. And there were some other vehicles. And that was like, yeah, okay, this is much more like it. And then something happened. I don't know if it was scripted or it's something that happened because I screwed up, but I was crashed into. And then it cut into a sort of, like I say, Streets of Rage style beat 'em up. Quite a simplistic beat 'em up, but it was a really interesting idea. I won't deny it. I don't think it was the best looking game. I mean, we're talking nearly 1994 here, and it doesn't look like gorgeous or anything. But I have to say, I did find it quite a nice game to play. Again, translation would have helped, but it was quite accessible, really. I would say it's something worth tracking down for a look, as a curiosity. It plays nicely, but it's, in my opinion, it seemed like quite simplistic in terms of gameplay. It's a proper sort of 3-star experience. That's probably sacrilege. The final game of this episode, Skyblazer, January 1994. I had never heard of this, and I think that might be quite a cringe thing I've just said, but I didn't know it. Because Skyblazer is epic. It is the most gorgeous looking platform game. It's intense, it's really, like, it's not like, we're not talking Mario here, this is a grown-up platform game. It's very, very cool, absolutely must be checked out at all costs. I don't know how I missed it, except I'm going to say January 94, I'm well into my PC era by then, I guess. Because Skyblazer clearly rules. I had a great time checking this out for this video. The platforming is great, the jumping, good jumping. We like good jumping. Nice mixture of attacks, and then it goes to this sort of Mode 7 gem collecting stage that is just jaw-droppingly beautiful. And not even just that, there's also boss fights in Mode 7. And they look fantastic. I mean, this thing looks like almost PlayStation quality. It's just a gorgeous game. Would I leave this running on a demo screen? Oh my God, yes, I'd leave it running all day. There's not an ugly pixel in this game. It plays great and it looks sensational. This is an undiscovered gem for me. Just me. Other people might be like, yeah, Skyblazer, I know. For me, it was an amazing discovery, and what a game. We're into 1994 now, and I mean way into it, as in November 1994. This first game, Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Clearly it's not a full Mode 7 game. However, all the Super Star Wars games have Mode 7 moments. It would have been tempting to just do the land speeder from the original Super Star Wars. That's the game that I know best and love, and I've actually beaten it, just, FYI. In terms of Mode 7, I had just as much fun with the speeder section on Return of the Jedi. It's a little bit basic, as you can see. Quite challenging, but I think honestly the challenge comes almost from being don't get too bored doing this. But I love that they were just trying something. It's ambitious. The sky is getting gradually lighter as you get nearer to Jabba's palace. They're trying stuff, and it's nice. It's not the best, but it's okay. It's a game I didn't have Return of the Jedi as a kid, but do I have nostalgia for Return of the Jedi? Well, obviously. Because by 94, late 94, there was stuff that would have transcended this easily. But it's okay. It's okay. Does it play as well as it looks? It plays okay. Return of the Jedi is sort of an annoying game. To be honest, I find the Super Star Wars series unnecessarily challenging. I only really stuck with the first one, and I don't actually know how I beat it. But I did. I didn't even have the passion to beat this one. But I wanted to highlight this section, and I wanted to get Super Star Wars in here in some capacity eventually. The same day, in 1994, Unser Jr.'s Road to the Top. What a ridiculous title. It's a terrible title. But ignore the title, because it's a fun concept. It's a racing game with multiple disciplines, like snow bikes or Indy cars or go-karts. It's nice to see those options. I would definitely have enjoyed this. As a kid, I'd moved on by this point, so I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard of Unser Jr. I'm probably saying it wrong and everything. But I did like this when I tried it out for this series. I thought it was interesting in that they introduced undulation to their Mode 7 tracks. I'm not sure I'd seen undulation before. It was very ambitious. It didn't look that great as a game overall. It's a little bit ugly. But there's ambition in this, unnecessary amount of ambition for a very late era SNES game. I couldn't help but respect it, even though I didn't love it. But it's a great example of what Mode 7 can be. I would say, again, by this point, I wouldn't be putting this demo on a screen and saying, look at this, it's not good enough anymore. But it's fine. Did it play as well as it looked? Well, it looked okay and it plays okay. The amount of fun you can have with it is the selling point. We are nearly at the end of this series. Next up, Mohawk and Headphone Jack. August 1996. You've got to be asking yourself, why are you bothering by this point? That's so late. 96? We were N64 by then, aren't we? It's wild. I didn't play this until my Twitch years, where I would try anything just to get a moment of validation from my overbearing and cynical audience. This game is notorious for making a lot of people feel very sick when you play it. Now, I do get motion sick, but this didn't make me motion sick. It just bored me. It was frustrating. The whole twisty screen thing was just a gimmick. I didn't like it at all. I wouldn't show it off. I mean, I'd show it off to go, can you actually believe what they tried to do here? But it's really not a good game. I would not even bother checking it out. It plays better than it looks. It definitely has something going for it in terms of play. Like, if it didn't have that gimmick, there might be an absolutely passable platformer in there. I wouldn't know. To be honest, I didn't even know what the hell I was supposed to be doing. Which is probably my fault, but sorry, it wasn't exactly making me care. I didn't desperately want to know either. It's a strange title. It's a very, very strange time in the SNES lifespan to be releasing it, and just all round, I don't get this. Moving on, the last in the list. September 1996, Power Rangers Zeo Battle Racers. It's a kart game with the Power Rangers. Released in September 1996 for the Super Nintendo. Why? Who is asking for this? I'd never heard of it. I have no nostalgia. I don't remember this. I'd heard of Power Rangers. When did this ever seem like a good idea? Sure, I assume this bombed and made no money. It must have done. it can't actually be a success story. The thing is, though, it does look quite good. And I had a really good time playing it, which makes the time of release, the subject matter, and the platform all the more baffling. But it was actually quite fun to play, or even very fun to play. And it does look good, and it plays well. And I would say, to end on a very positive note, go and find Power Rangers Zeo Battle Racers and check it out, because it's kind of fun. So anyway, there we go, the Mode 7 Legends series. 20 games in chronological order demonstrating the majesty of the Mode 7 graphics mode. Totally worth doing this. I love it. I love looking at all these games again. Just what a demonstration of how cool the Super Nintendo was. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please, of course, like and subscribe. It is free, so there's no reason not to. I'll be back with something else very soon, hopefully, that will be equally pleasing to make, because that's part of the fun, but also fun to watch. So thank you very much for paying attention all the way to the end, and I appreciate you. Have a great day. Bye.